Hi everyone, I'm Miss Brower and I'm your student's AP Environmental Science teacher, either period 2 or period 6. So you're seeing this if they are either in one of those classes. I am so sorry I'm not at back to school tonight. I'm actually in a wedding. I'm not on the town partying or anything. So I do apologize for not being there, but I decided to do a little video so you can get to know how weird I am, because I'm sure your kids mentioned that. Okay, so a couple of things. I have a little agenda up here, a couple of things we're going to go over today. And I'm just going to get started. Okay, so a little bit about me and my philosophy. One of the reasons I got into teaching is because I love science. But it's not just about loving science, it's about showing other people that science can be really fun as well. And so I want to breed, for lack of a better word, the next generation of science lovers. So even if there's people in this room that won't necessarily go on to science, I want them to appreciate it a little bit more and love it a little bit more, which this class is really great because environmental science applies to real life too. And I already feel like people are kind of opening their eyes to what's going on in the world. So super cool class. I'm really excited to have this as a first year class this year. Okay, so in addition to my philosophy, I really believe in hands-on learning, and I also believe in giving students the tools to be set up for success. So I'll tell you a couple of things I do to help that. First of all, I have the agenda, and I have a daily agenda as well, so we're coming on over here. The daily agenda for AP Environmental Science is going to be up here, so we're doing a little Jeopardy review game. Starting off with weighing our chrysalises, or chrysali, I'm not really sure the plural of that. We're growing butterflies. So you'll always see the daily agenda there, and if there is any homework due, it'll be on here, as well as what is homework for the next night. So right now we're just reviewing for a quiz. So that is all that is there. In addition to that, if you scroll down here, lovely cameraman, I do have the weekly schedule as well. So what I do try to do on this is put like the generic activity of what we're doing and possibly put the homework on there if I can kind of squeeze it in. And so that's always posted as well. In addition to that, especially for my AP classes, I know that most of my AP students have a lot going on. They're applying for colleges or they're getting ready to take their SATs and they're in like 12 other APs. I get it. So what I do is I actually make the calendar for the entire semester of big assignments. So big tests, big quizzes. Most of the homework assignments are in here as well so that someone can plan ahead. So let's say someone's the lead role in a musical, Bricia in the Heights much, and she knows that she's going to be really busy during that week, so it might be a good idea for her to get a little bit ahead in the homework so she doesn't fall behind. So this is kind of a tool to set them up for success. And actually, the AP Environmental Science kids already voted to have more frequent tests rather than doing, 1 through 6 over the course of a month and a half. They're going to do chapters 1 through 3 after 3 weeks, that kind of thing. They actually voted for that, so I made that change. So it is a little bit different than the calendar there, but they also have the new copy of the quiz and test schedule as well, just so you know. Theoretically, all of you guys have seen this lovely syllabus here. You were supposed to have signed off on it, so if you didn't sign off on it, then you can go ask your student about that. I do have some extra copies though if you did want to look that over. And it basically kind of goes through the normal stuff. Now, as far as behavior and discipline is concerned in an AP class, it's not a concern. I rarely have an issue, although I will say my period 6 is a little rowdy. But I do have kind of what we're covering and the time we cover each. Please don't forget that AP classes the students are expected to take the exams. If students choose not to take the exam, they have a pretty difficult cumulative final. So I really encourage people to take the exams, and we're going to do our best to set them up to do that in a good way. There's also a lot of labs in this class especially. I bought 10 brand new lab kits for this class, and there's also these kind of like random other lab activities I found too, just to give them a real hands-on approach. And thanks to one of our parents, Lexi Nadler, we actually are going to go on a field trip this year as well. So that's really, really exciting. And hopefully do kind of a service learning project where we learn, okay, this is where we are in the world. We know that we made these kind of bad things happen. Where can we help? Like, can we help Malawi, who's a developing country, to do things different than we are? So we're doing a lot of that kind of stuff. This is the textbook that goes with this class. And if any of you guys had AP Biology with me last year, remember it was about double this. So most of the AP Bio kids who are now taking AP Environmental are pretty stoked about the size of that. And there's lots of small homework assignments. I'm really trying to get the students to the point where they can do data analysis and really understand data. So a lot of it's looking at a graph, what does it mean, interpreting that data. So that's kind of what we're focusing on right now. Like I said, all the assignments are in the calendar. There are a few additional assignments here and there when I find a great lab as I'm kind of writing my lesson plans. There may be additional assignments, but most of the big ones are in there. Something that my AP students love, first of all, okay, to explain this two ways. I do give you a chance to do quiz and lab and homework regrade. So if you do fairly poorly, if you really didn't understand a concept, you can show me that you have now learned it. So there is makeup for that, for partial credit. But also, students have a kind of deal. There's some homework in AP classes that they don't have to do. So my model is if you are able to get a real A, so a non-curved A on my test, then you technically don't owe me homework. And there's like half of the homework, essentially. There's certain homeworks that are selected, and the students know which one it is. I recommend that students don't do that until they take their first quiz or test and gauge how they're going to do on that first quiz or test. And then if they want to make that choice, fine. One of the reasons I do that is because I know one of my students has like 6 AP classes, and I'm sure there's a lot of homework that comes with that. So I try to accommodate. If this is something that comes naturally to you, if you don't need to do the vocab and notes maybe from the chapter, then those types of assignments you don't have to do, but you still need to do the data analysis. So it's kind of a little assist from Miss B over here. So as far as if you guys have any questions, I think I know most of you because I've had most of you in my classes before. Feel free to contact me. I'm great about email. I'll make sure that Eva writes my email on the board when she's here with you guys. She's my helper for back to school night. And in addition, so I have kind of 2 ways that you can contact me right now. First of all, I would love for you to sign in just so I know kind of who is here and not here. But also, if you'd like to sign up for a conference, you're more than welcome to do that. If you don't really feel like you need a conference, but maybe you have a question or two, you can email me. Or Eva actually has my recording device that is recording me right now. If you want to just say, hi, I'm so-and-so, you know, Joe's mother, and I had this question, feel free to just record it on that, and I can always, as long as your email is on this sheet, I can always email you that answer as well. So I think that is basically it. I'm really loving this class. It's opening my eyes up as well as far as the difference I need to make in our country and our society. So hopefully your students are loving it as well. And I look forward to meeting you in the future. Bye.